So, like, just real fucking quick before, because I have a video talking about this at greater length tomorrow in comparing Starfield to Fall to Cyberpunk 2077 and why it's not going to be why it's not going to ever. Well, you'll see the video tomorrow at 10 a.m. But I wanted to just talk real quick about something I didn't really extrapolate too much on this video in that video that I kind of want to touch on here. Go get the rest of the context when that video releases tomorrow at 10 in the morning, when or after this video. Try and tag it or something below or whatever. I said in that video that Starfield, a lot of things in it, but one of them that Bethesda isn't good at making, they make decent, serviceable RPGs. They're barely RPGs. They're sandboxes that you can have fun in. And the clunkiness of certain aspects of their system can be forgiven because the world that they've crafted and the systems that you can use within that world are fun. So, like, the systems themselves are fun. And then modders make new content that you can then engage those systems with, and people like the lore and the background and all that stuff. The problem is that Starfield has a lot of curated content. It's just fucking far away from one another. If you walk from Riverwood to Whiterun, or you walk from, say, I don't know, Concord to Lexington in Fallout 4, it's gonna seem like there's some stuff here, some stuff there. There might not be a little here. You're you're kind of focusing on going from point A to B, but you might see some stuff, you might pick up some stuff at a little camp, abandoned camp you saw. You might see there's there's a abandoned carriage on the road. Let me look at that. There's shit in between. There is no shit in between. There is no journey from point A to B. One of the greatest parts of these games was the journey from point A to point B, and the purpose of exploring stuff. Now, the fast travel exists because sometimes I don't want to have to walk all the fucking way from Riverwood or Whiterun. I've done it before. I've seen that shit. I want to just go straight to Whiterun. That's what that's there for. But the problem is that in Starfield, you don't really have that. You maybe if you're lucky, your ship will plop you down, farther away from your goal that you teleported to immediately. But even in that case, it's just still meh. Bethesda makes good curated Bethesda games individually do things okay. Everything from poorly to well. And then as a package, the games together are pretty decent. Starfield's just boring. I played a bunch of it today. I did the Freestart Collective. I went to Cheyenne. I went to and became a ranger. I started that quest. I joined Rukijin Industries, and now I'm a corpo fuck. And it's cool. Neon is cool. The Free States area is cool. New Atlantis is pretty and interesting and futuristic and Star Trek-y. And all of the curated places and curated things are cool. The side content is great. I love it. But a quest ends. And I can't just open the map, pick a place I've already been, and then just go south, just go southwest or northeast, and just see what I run into. I don't see the little blacked out gradient of possible futures on the top of the map. I just see, and if I do, I have to touch down at a random spot on a planet, and I am allowed to enjoy the procedurally generated hell of a barren landscape at worst. or the same continuous forest forever. I am a Bethesda dick rider. I will fully admit it. I forgive their games for a lot of shit that other people don't. I find the bugginess of their games at times endearing. But their games to me were never boring. And I think that is like the biggest crime of Starfield. It's not the bugginess, it's not the optimization issues, it's not the writing, the storytelling, the new engine, the uncanniness of some of the characters. It's none of that. It is the fact that if you are not directly engaging in the quest lines, or you are not hitting location after location after location and exploring location after location after location and getting that quick dopamine feed that you would normally get in a Bethesda game, because everything's like packed and it's packed full of content, you start to get bored. This is a reason why I said, sorry, my neighbor is using a power saw indoors for some reason. Um, and I'll touch more of this with Cyberpunk, and I didn't make this point in the Cyberpunk X, Starfield video, but one of the things that made um one of the things is just one of the things that made Cyberpunk good in my mind, despite its launch issues, was the fact that every 10 feet was content. You were either running into a group of guys you could fight, a gig you could do, a side quest, a collectible, and it was all wonderful. Give me 1 second, Dustin. I forgot I was in Discord. Give me 1 sec. But at the end of the day, I wish Starfield was better. It's a good. The parts of it that are good are really good, and I think are worth enjoying. But just fast travel and the it's just like the fast travel is cumbersome. The menu system is cumbersome, and it's just the procedural generation. Like, I'm over procedural generation at this point. I want Bethesda's handcrafted experience as well, and I hope that they don't do. And I give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt, because they do have the tendency to learn from their fucking mistakes. And they very, 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 very much are. Um, they do very much, like, when they fuck up, they change their behavior, and they generally don't repeat it. And if it's something that they feel like they want to do, they refine it to where it's the problems that people had aren't really there anymore, by and large. So we'll see. I really wanted more from this fucking game, man. Fitting.